Hello there, and welcome to another update. This time, this will be a big startup update as well as a quick update on the incubator I just took part in. And yeah, let's jump right in. Let's start with the startup. I have some update that is visual, which is the website. It is now basically all the products that I scraped. I basically wrote a scraper for YouTube and then input some channels that I follow and scraped their last 10 videos or so and took the sponsors. The search here also kind of works. Like, let's take an example of Paolo. Let's take his name, right? We search for it and we find him. For some reason, we also find like other ones, and I think this has something to do with the tokenization of these links, because they are super long and for some reason they might tokenize a certain way, so I still need to fix that, but at least mostly it's him, right? And as I said, some of these weird long links that got truncated here, but for the most part it kind of works. You see, like even here when I search this, mostly this shows up, but also for some reason these. And our prime example, if we search for VPN, we also mostly get here some VPNs. So I still need to look into that and fix that, but the base MVP and an infinite scroll is kind of done. What you also see is some of these images, like here for example, are not showing, or some of them are low quality, like this one. And I also need to still fix that. And I also need to still scrape podcasts, because that's another thing I really wanted to do. And then I expand the product palette, because right now it's only like 150 products or so not that many. But then the MVP is kind of done. You could even argue it's done already, but right now it kind of still looks a little bit meh. And you cannot click yet either, right? So these are still things that need to get fixed. And then the MVP version is done. So that's a good update on the startup. I'll quickly go into the reasons or like the issues that I ran into. What was easy was writing the scraper. Like YouTube provides a really amazing API that you can query and get all the info you want from the description and the video and everything. So I really like that. What I didn't like was the setup with the database that I chose, because I already said earlier that I set up everything quote-unquote properly, meaning I have a database, then I have an EC2 instance that connects to this private database and tunnels traffic from my web server, which is hosted on Lightsail, through this EC2 instance to the database. And this caused a bunch of issues for me. Like, I will not go into too much detail, but a bunch of setup there went wrong, and I investigated problems that were just SSL problems, and you need to open up certain ports that I didn't open up. So yeah, basically a bunch of access as well as path issues that I ran into, and then it worked locally. Everything worked locally, and it still took like 2 or 3 days for me to fix that it works actually on the server because of this setup with the database. But everything works now. That's nice, and I also now know how to do it properly. So I guess not the best approach for an MVP, but it now works. So the next steps would be, as I said, next 2 weeks, definitely the product palette will get bigger. I will add podcasts. I will expand the YouTube channels that I scrape, and then also improve the quality of the images and the display, because right now you don't even know what this is, right? You see an icon, but what is this? And you see some short description, but what is Stan? You know, like you don't really have so much background. So maybe like a title for the product or something to be added. Basically make this a little bit more slick. Obviously, in the final version, when you click, you don't immediately get put to the sponsor, but you get put to a separate website that then also explains a bit about the product, what it's about, maybe even like a small part of the YouTuber or podcaster talking about the product, so you have a bit more context. But that's not MVP stage. So I'm pretty happy that this got working, and I'm looking forward to improving it next 2 weeks. The other update is about the incubator I joined. I felt quite positive initially about it because I really liked the concept of it. The concept being that you post updates about what you're working on, you set goals, and investors can basically see your progress and see, hey, how well is this person doing? I have to say what I didn't like so much is the onboarding and the whole like matching. Basically, when the program opened, they had a list of mentors that you could select from and a list of startups that you could choose to work together with. On the first day it opened, I already selected everything and was like, oh yeah, this is nice, right? There were quite a few that were like, oh yeah, this could work. And then like a day before it closed, or even like days after it closed, I'm not exactly sure, they then told me, yeah, like you didn't select anything. And I was like, what? I already did this the first day. And then like I guess they had some bug on their end or whatever, and then I had to do the selection again manually, whatever, right? I have quite some understanding because they're also like a startup-y type thing, right? It's like one of the first times that they're running it. So yeah, I cut them quite some slack, but then like they did the matching and like I didn't get matched with any of the startups I selected or with any of the mentors I selected. I also sent them an email about that, didn't yet hear a response from them. I think that's, yeah, that's suboptimal. I mean, I now talk to my mentor and he's like cool and stuff, right? And I'm also going to continue the program because I still like the idea of it. But I have to say that so far I'm not impressed with the execution. So yeah, hope it improves. I'll keep you guys in the loop how it goes. But this is basically the update so far. I'll keep it short because there's not so much else to say. I showed you the progress and hope to see you guys in the next 2 weeks with another big and successful update. See you then. Peace.